Hi there, welcome to the Ecofina Financial Channel. My name is Philip, and as usual, I'll take you through one major event in the global economy. Remember, click the subscribe button now so that you don't forget, so that this video can also become more available to others who can also subscribe to the channel. The main essence is to be able to provide as much enlightenment as we can so that people can make informed decisions or be more aware of what is happening in the Nigerian and global economy as a whole. So today, we'll be looking at the FX situation in Nigeria, and we've titled this No End in Sight to Nigeria's FX Crisis, as Naira has hit 545 Naira to a dollar in the parallel market. Now, it seems the strategy of the Central Bank of Nigeria to manage FX, the foreign exchange crisis in Nigeria, is yielding very little results, if any at all, because Naira is now around 545 Naira to a dollar in the parallel market. Because the pressure of demand is just so high, and supply just cannot keep up with it. And it's simple economics. As long as demand exceeds supply, then the prices would have to rise so that those who are desperate for it can get it. So as long as this demand continues to rise and as long as supply cannot keep up, then we can expect the naira to continue its free fall. In fact, so bad as the situation become that there were even rumors, that the CBN was contemplating converting the foreign exchange in the domiciliary accounts of customers uh, to Naira in order to stem the fall of the Naira. The CBN has categorically denied that. In fact, a circular was released just to show you how strong the rumors were. The CBN has released a circular stating clearly that they are not even contemplating such an action. So you don't have to be worried because that assurance has already come. But given the circumstances, the current circumstances, you would think it is not out of place for the CBN to consider a change of strategy because the current strategy doesn't seem to be working. The CBN has kept the exchange rate the fixed, more or less fixed in the official window. It's been around 412 naira to a dollar for some time now. But as long as that disparity between the official window and the parallel market is so high, then there will always be room for arbitrage. Now, depending on who takes advantage of it or who exploits that situation, there will always be that opportunity. So because the CBN doesn't operate the floating exchange rate system and does not allow market forces on all grounds to determine the value of the naira, then this will continue to be a challenge because there is room for arbitrage. So some people somewhere, will just always find their way of exploiting the loophole in the system. So the CBN will probably have to review this and look at it and see what will really work. Then again, you remember when the CBN stopped the sale of FX to BDCs, we all thought that was a good move because some of the BDCs were also trying to, connive, sometimes hoarding the dollars to ensure that the price keeps going up. But really, the CBN probably didn't make enough preparation for the market, especially the undocumented ones in the parallel market, because clearly, even though banks have the branch network to probably even replace the BDCs because they are everywhere anyway, but I'm not sure they've been empowered to do so because the list of requirements, for FX transactions hasn't changed. In fact, it still seems to be the same things that the CBN is providing funding for: the PTAs, the BTAs, and some eligible school fees and all that. And people use dollars for much more or use foreign currency for much more. And that is where the issue is. So because that market hasn't been adequately prepared for, is leaving a lot of gap in the system, which has to be met in the parallel market. Again, it is unlikely that the CBN is still releasing the same amount in terms of foreign currency to the banks as they were to the 5,000 BDCs before them. So that also certainly will create a challenge, because now people have to find a way, to source for funds, and the only place they can go to if they can't get in the official window is in the parallel market. Okay, so but this FX situation certainly is much deeper than that, and nobody is trying to underestimate how difficult it really is, because um, but we feel first of all that the CBN must do his own part, because the foreign exchange reserve is what the CBN has been dipping into to keep the naira stable in the official market. And if you look at it, it's been on the fall too, because that's what they've been trying to keep the naira stable. So it's difficult right now to keep the to for the foreign exchange reserve to also rise. So the CBN probably might have to consider a floating exchange rate system, because that probably might work better. And then, but like I said, it is not just the CBN that is at fault, or they are not alone to, they are not the ones to bear the whole fault, because the fiscal policies haven't been great at all. Because Nigeria cannot continue to operate a trade deficit and then expect a significant improvement in the FX situation. Uh, the foreign trade report released by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) shows that Nigeria's trade deficit in the first half of the year alone was 5.81 trillion naira, because imports was 13.8 trillion naira, but exports on the other one was 7.99 trillion. So as long as we have faced such a massive trade deficit, where we still depend so much on imports, which means that there's going to be continuous pressure on FX without making sufficient amount from exports to, either um, pay for the imports, or rather reduce the level of importation. So those are the issues. As long as that is not done, then we can expect the FX crisis to continue. Even if the CBN is able to get it right in terms of monetary policy, the fiscal policies to promote other industries, either local production or promote exports, so that Nigeria's balance of payment, Nigeria's trade deficit can be substantially reduced, then the situation will persist. So yes, it's a combination of monetary and fiscal policies that will fix this. Local production, improved exports, and those are the things that will really solve the FX situation in the long run. And we do hope that the government will get it right. So let's know what you think. You can share your thoughts in the comment section about the naira that is continued its free fall, and also suggest probably possible solutions that I think that the government or the authorities can also put in place. So that's it on the global economic outlook for this week. Remember, click the subscribe button so that this channel can keep growing and we can provide enlightenment to more and more people. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.